Alright, Shalom. It's your brother Samat. Another lesson. We give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai. And double honor to our elders and apostles, a great millstone. And peace and blessings to the elect. Alright, so coming with a little impromptu. I was just leaving the job, man. I was just I was watching a lesson, a video earlier, and it kind of inspired me to think about, just the situation, that we are currently in. A lot of us brothers is, working these little dead-end jobs. A lot of us are struggling, just to endure the truth, right? And endure this world. And what that happens is you get a lot of resistance in this life, right? Between the flesh and the spirit. So I'm pretty much just going to go into the nature of the flesh and the spirit. Now, when you read in Romans, the 8th chapter, it talks about how the carnal mind is at enmity with the spirit, right? So the spirit and the body, essentially, they're at war with each other. And because they're at war with each other, there's always going to be resistance. Now, generally in life, you have, as a man, right? We're going to use men. You are two men, right? The first man, all right, that's the worldly man, right? The carnal man, the man who desires the things that can be obtained, the things that are tangible, right? Things that can be measured, right? Like money, status, glory, fame, women, all right, possessions, all right, jewelry, etc. And then you have the spiritual man, who the things of the spiritual man are typically things that cannot be seen, right? Wisdom, all right, experience, humility, faith, empathy, compassion, mercy, etc. Now, when you look at the two, this is how you measure the worldly man and the spiritual man. All right, the worldly man, let's look at both of them in instances where you spend, right? Let's say you spend something. The worldly man, when you spend, you lose. You don't gain anything in return, right? What does that mean? All right, for example, in the worldly aspect, you have a $1 bill. And if you spend that $1, you lose that $1. You don't have any dollars now. But with the spiritual man, it's something intangible. For example, the spiritual man is when you spend time studying, what do? You gain knowledge and wisdom. That is the difference between the spiritual and the worldly man. And I say that to say that you cannot confidently build both the spiritual man and the worldly man and expect to receive the utmost salvation of the Heavenly Father. Now, generally in the world, and this is the thing, and the reason why I say that is because, you know what? I take that back. You can build both. What I meant to say was, you can't build one without the other, without being unbalanced. And we know that the Most High says, right, in the book of Proverbs, that a false balance is an abomination, right? And pretty much that a just weight is his delight. So basically meaning you have a pretty good balance between the spirit and the flesh. Not to say that it's 50-50, but it has to be a balance that makes sense, right? Because not all weight is the same in terms of density. Right? 5 pounds of pennies is much larger than 5 pounds of apples. Or whatever, you know what I mean? A better example. 5 pounds of feathers is a much larger amount than a 5-pound brick. You know what I mean? 5-pound brick is small, it can fit into the hand. But 5 pounds of feathers is probably in a large box, multiple large boxes. So when you build, you have to build both in tandem, right? So basically, how do you build on the worldly man. Well, the worldly man or the carnal man, all right, is you have to take care of your responsibilities, right? You have to have a job. You have to work. How do you build the spiritual man, right? Because you have to be able to take care of your family. How do you build the spiritual man? Well, you build the spiritual man by what? By getting experiences, by studying, right? By searching for knowledge, right? By doing difficult things. Now, the difference between the carnal man and the spiritual man, the carnal man wants things easy, right? He wants an easy life. Because, I mean, what man wants to work hard and grind all day, right? That's the flesh telling you, you want an easy life. You want to be able to relax and have all your bills and responsibilities taken care of. But the spiritual man, on the other hand, is that the spiritual man wants challenges and difficulties. Why? Because that's how the spiritual man grows. All right? The flesh doesn't necessarily grow through hard times. All right? Or the flesh is not pleased in hard times. Because the flesh is pleased when it's at rest, when it's at ease. That's why your body recovers and heals at rest. But the spirit, right? The spirit grows through difficulties, through experiences, through hardships. So you can build in tandem with each other by doing things that they kind of like marry together. For example, like I said, to build up how can building the carnal man help the spirit? Well, if you're a man, get a job, right? And if you're able, get a decent job, right? That you're able to make enough money. You're not busting your ass and putting your life on the line to make this money. You know, you got people who are like oil. You know, they're working mines and shit. Nothing like that. But let's say you got an honest day's work. You know what I mean? Let's say you just work a delivery job or you work in an office, whatever the case is. A sales job, whatever. You got a job, you make a decent amount of money. You're able to handle your responsibilities. What does that do to the spirit? It gives you peace of mind, right? It gives you confidence knowing that, okay, I'm able to handle my responsibilities. So I don't have to worry about grinding, okay? Now, another way you can build the flesh and benefit the spirit, all right? Exercise and diet. Exercise and diet will physically change you, right? It'll physically change your appearance, your aesthetic, your physique, your skin, your hair, and your physical overall health, which in the spirit will give you peace of mind, confidence, and ultimately just good energy. Because if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, usually you look good, right? If you have a good diet, a good routine, you'll naturally, your physique will be a result of that. Now, how can you build the spirit and benefit the flesh, right? Now, building the spirit is you go through difficult times, right? You're always seeking out challenges and learning something new, right? You're always pushing yourself to do things that you don't want to do, because 9 times out of 10, if you know that, because doing hard things when you don't feel like doing them builds character. Right? It builds character. It's virtue. There's virtue in doing hard things when you don't feel like doing them. Because what happens at the end of that action, you've gained something, right? Every time you spend in the spirit, you get in return, right? That's the difference between the flesh. The flesh, when you expend in the flesh, you lose. You don't really get anything back from it, you know, not generally. You spend money, like, what do you obtain? Possessions? I mean, like, what good is possessions? It can be taken, it can be corrupted, right? But the spirit, you spend time, energy, frustration, all those things benefit you because you gain in return. For example, another way that you can spend in the spirit and get in return. If you go into an experience, a situation where you have to use courage, right? You use courage to get you through a situation. At the end of that situation, what do you gain? You gain more courage. You gain confidence. Because you went through a scary situation that you were unsure of how it would turn out. You use courage to fight through it, because it takes courage, right? Because courage is essentially Doesn't mean you're void of fear or nervousness. No, like it's uncertain. But you use courage because you don't give up. People who give up lack courage. People who see a difficult situation, a very scary a path, but they know they must go down it, they use courage to go through the path. And at the end of the path, when they make it through, they gain more courage than they had when they walked through it in the first place. That's how the Most High builds us up in our spirit. All right? He puts us through experiences that test and challenge our thought process, our faith, our knowledge, our wisdom, and in return, we gain more than what it took from when we went into it. If you go into an environment where you only know a little bit about the situation and you got to figure it out by the end of the day, and you going through it, you figuring it out, you learning, you making mistakes, messing up. By the end of the day, even if you don't get it finished, I guarantee you, you'll know more than you did when you started that day. And that's how it works. So we have to make sure that we're building collectively, right? And we're having maintaining a really good balance and building our spiritual man and building ourselves in the carnal, not for carnal possession and gain, but for the benefit of our own spirits. All right. So that's pretty much all I had. Lord willing, this video was edifying. I believe the point was made. Till next time, shalom.